3 rings for Julian Edelman. Now he became the 3rd player with at least 10 receptions and 140 receiving yards in the Super Bowl, joining the likes of Deion Branch along with Jerry Rice, who did it twice. His 6th career 100-yard receiving game in the postseason. We've talked about Edelman a lot all season. Going into this game, going into this Super Bowl, what does this do for his legacy? Nate, I know you did the highlight, but I got to throw it right back to you because I've heard you mention his name and Hall of Fame in the same sentence.
Yeah, I've also mentioned outside of Jerry Rice that Julian Edelman is one of the most clutch wide receivers of all time. And I've been saying this for a couple years now, and people laughed at me initially, and then this year people started paying attention to the numbers. When you look at Jerry Rice, of course, he tops the list. But right behind him is Julian Edelman with catches in the postseason. It's not enough just to look at the 10 receptions for 141. How about you pay attention to the moments that he caught the ball in, whether it was zone or man coverage right there where he beats Shaquille Talib, one of the best in the business, or when they bracket him and he's over the middle, he runs a banana route right here and he gets wide open. Julian Edelman, he finds himself in the biggest of moments playing the biggest. They threw it to him 12 times. Keep that in mind. They threw it to him 12 times. He came down with 10 catches. And if you want to make the argument that there's somebody else that could have won the MVP. I know Kyle will talk about this a little later on in the show. You remove Julian Edelman from the game, the Rams win the Super Bowl.
You know, I said the same thing about Belichick. Is what hasn't Edelman done? He's got maybe the greatest Super Bowl catch of all time against the Falcons, the juggling pass. But I've been texting with someone who's close in Julian's circle, and he says the coolest deal was after the game. The whole team's walking to the bus, and someone gives him a little wave. No, you're the MVP. You come with us. Gets in one of these SUVs, drives with his family and with his friends separately, gets to it. They arrive at the team hotel, the Hyatt over here, down here in downtown Atlanta, gets out of the car, and it's just thousands of Patriots fans greeting Julian Edelman. It's not Brady. It's not Belichick. It's finally his moment. His moment, not part of the greater picture, not part of the Gronk, Edelman, Hogan. Julian Edelman. He's Super Bowl MVP. Last night, his night. Very cool.
The year did not start out well for Julian Edelman. Missing games in the beginning, he ends up a Super Bowl MVP.
It's nuts. And it's easy to say today. I've been saying it for a month now. If I got to win a big game, I want Jerry Rice and Julian Edelman. Those are the guys. Of course, there's dozens and dozens of receivers who are better than Julian Edelman. It's not about better or talent. It's just about dependability. And I think as far as Edelman's legacy, he's one of my favorite species of athlete, the irritator. Like, I can't imagine being a Rams fan or a Chiefs fan. It's just, why is Edelman always so open?
3rd and 9.
Drive you crazy.
3rd and 8.
I look at him and he's like Bobby Hurley or Grayson Allen. He's like a Duke point guard, which is like the worst thing you can see.
Slapping the floor.
Slapping the floor, and he's always open. And in terms of like the contrast, I look at the Rams and they have so much talent on defense, and they bring in Peters and Talib and Sue, and there's Donald, and they're getting beaten by that little Ewok over the middle. There's nothing they can do about it. That's his legacy. Bring in all the money and all the all-pros you want. Julian Edelman at 32. You know, we get caught up in how Brady's 41, and that's great. Julian Edelman is old-ass wide receiver
coming off a torn
ACL. And he's beaten all that talent with the Rams brought in. That's his legacy. An irritator, chain mover. I love watching the guy play. I love it.
They do it so calmly. Like, yesterday was such a calmly executed, cool as can be vibe on both sides of the ball from them. You know, we usually see a chirpy Edelman. He, of course, had that mentality. But even in that post-game presser, like, he just won MVP completely like this. Like, it was supposed to happen. He went out there and executed the plays, and it was awesome. I mean, that was the 2nd most receiving yards in postseason history, which is absolutely incredible. But in my opinion, this was a team win. They don't win this game without Edelman. They don't win this game also without Gilmore stepping up and making plays, without Gronk maybe making that huge catch down the sideline as well. So there's a case to be made for other MVPs, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be the guy the next day after Edelman has this incredible catch to say I don't think he should win MVP. I don't think Julian Edelman should have won MVP. I think the story of that game, more than any other Super Bowl we've ever seen, was defense. Peter was crowing through that injured voice of his in the opening segment about it was like a spellbinding defensive performance by the Patriots. We've never seen it before. I think you got to give it to somebody on defense, and I would give it to Gilmore. It wasn't just the biggest play of the game. It was an interception. There was a forced fumble. There was pass breakups. There's 5 tackles. I love Edelman as much as the next guy. I think you have to give it to someone on D, and he was their moneymaker.
It's fair. It's fair. Edelman, to me, was the best offensive player, but if you wanted to give it to Gilmore, if I had a vote, I would have gone Edelman last night. I felt like that was the Julian Edelman game. His career has been amazing, but that was him personified. 10 catches, 140, nothing deep, everything over the middle, and like you said, more than irritating, soul-crushing. Because every single time
frustrating.
There he is. Frustrating, and yet, for the Patriots fans, comforting, warming, reliable. That's what he is.
And you look at the speed and the dynamic playmaking ability that the Rams defense possess. And they tried everything. Man-to-man coverage, bracket coverage, zone coverage. Julian Edelman beat it all. So if you're a young wide receiver, you want to learn how to run routes over the middle, take hits on the sideline, look at Julian Edelman. He'll teach you everything you need to know.
1,000% the best player on offense. Love that they greeted him like that. He finally deserves it. And I cannot wait to see the parade. Because when I think of Edelman in the postseason, I remember when they beat the Seahawks in Arizona, they flew across the country. I think they partied the entire time, and he looked like Teen Wolf on that duck boat, taking his shirt off. I remember I was there. It was like -5 degrees, having the time of his life. So I hope he enjoys it, and he feels special being the Super Bowl MVP. And, of course, we'll talk about what this means for his legacy, Gronk's future, of course, and then Brady and what this game was from his perspective, because he did not have the best game.
No, and he won by the biggest margin he ever has. Okay, am I hearing chatter that the Patriots parade is tomorrow?
It's tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, and we, of course, will be covering that right here on NFL Network. He'll be in a barrel there up in
I'll be wearing a barrel.
I think it sounds like a segment.
It might. You know, there's this, I think we're all kind of entertained by there's this Patriots nausea that some people have this morning. Fatigue, whatever you want to call it. I do think it's funny that the Red Sox tweeted last night that the Patriots just broke New England's 98-day championship drought. It's been, and somebody else said the duck boats just do circles around Boston, and whatever championship team wants to come out and get on, they can get on. It's incredible. It's the best thing going, though. Sorry.
It is like a well-oiled machine. The fact that they can pull out this parade 24 hours.
Turnkey. Yeah, just do the parade. All right, next day.
Just mopping up from the last one.
Look, Edelman's going to be in Disneyland or Disney World today.
Yeah.
And then he's going to the parade. Edelman's about to have a very interesting 48 hours.
What's he going to ride at Disneyland?
Disney World.
Disney World?
And it's not a small world after all.
He's a small guy, though.
We'll talk
Splash
more
Mountain.
about Edelman, showing you guys some more highlights. We have Tiffany Blackman joining us. We have press conferences we will be taking live right here on Good Morning Football this morning. Keep the tweets coming. Do you agree about the Hall of Fame, Julian?